let's start with the different rules and roles that people can take. These are just a selection of different roles in a meeting that people can take on to ensure that the meeting is running effectively and on time. First, you have what is called a meeting organizer. This is the person who calls the meeting, who writes up the agenda, and who organizes the logistics and gets everybody together, thinks about who he wants to have in a meeting, and basically sets up the framework so that people can actually come and meet. The second role is the facilitator. We talked about earlier that the facilitator doesn't necessarily have to be the meeting organizer. In most cases, it is the meeting organizer. However, this doesn't have to be the case. You can appoint somebody else to be the facilitator. Then you have a minute taker, or sometimes this person is called a secretary or a recorder. What this person does is they keep notes and track of all the issues that have been discussed during the meeting, and most importantly, of all the actions that have been decided to take place after the meeting. They not only write down the action, but also the name of the person who is responsible for the action and the deadline by when the action has to be completed. It is also recommended to appoint a timekeeper. This is somebody who ensures that the meeting does not run over time. When you have a certain allocation of time allowed for, let's say, brainstorming sessions, it is very important to have somebody who says, okay, after 10 meetings, stop and let's do something else. If you don't have a timekeeper, there's a tendency that you will have people who speak too long or sessions that go on forever. And you will run low of time and will not be able to discuss all the points that you wanted to discuss. So a timekeeper is again an essential role in a meeting. And last but not least, the participant. As you learned in lesson 5, the participant is the only most important person in the entire meeting. Why hold a meeting if you don't have a participant? And what the role of the participant is, if you don't remember, please review lecture number 5. When you are a meeting organizer or a facilitator, one of your roles is then to appoint the different roles and functions when you are running a meeting. So after you have gone through the agenda and you welcomed everyone, it is really useful to appoint these different roles. Here are some useful phrases that you can use in order to do so.